Black Lions.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Dalton, Phil.
What's up, guys? Dutchy clocking in here. As always, God bless. Go first.
Let the celebration begin.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Eagles postgame show with Jack and Dalton. Proudly powered by TickPick, the official fan experience partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, let's take it to the show.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but a win is a win. Welcome to the Eagles post-game show. First of the season for season 2 from me and your boy, Jack Dalton. We're back covering the Birds. Excited to be here. Sorry we couldn't be here last night. I actually was able to go out to the game. Thank you to the sponsor, TickPick, like Benny said in the intro. I was able to be there last night for banner night. So if you're a real Eagles fan, holler at us in the comments. Give us a go, Birds, because you know you're not going to miss that. But initial thoughts on last night's win, Jack, and how excited are you back to be for season 2? And I'm just saying, bro, we just so happen to be 1-0 on post-game show seasons.
Yeah, I mean, Eagles looked really good. Jalen Hurts gave me some hope because there was some place towards the end of the game, that he held the ball way too long and kind of ran with it. He scored 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley looks good. Jahan Dotson's looking really good. A.J. Brown wasn't targeted once, and that was 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But yeah, all in all, I think the Eagles look really good. The defense was lacking last night. We couldn't tackle. Jordan Davis needs to pick up his game. We said this before. This is a make or break year for Jordan Davis. And he completely missed 3 sacks last night, and you can't be doing that. But I will say one thing that I'm a little worried about these Cowboys. They looked pretty good last night. Dak Prescott looked very confident in the pocket. The offensive line for the Cowboys looked really good, but we were able to get the W. It was a nail biter, but all in all, I'm excited for the season and look forward to doing more post-game shows.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm really excited for this season. I'm really excited for what we got in store. I think it's going to be a great year for us and for all Eagles fans. I mean, it's special. It's really special what we just went through, and it's going to be a ton of fun to see how the Birds bounce back. I'll say, like Jack said, I think the Cowboys need a little bit more credit than they're getting. I also think CeeDee Lamb is just a badass motherfucker. You know, you got to give credit where credit's due there. The rest of their offense, I mean, Miles Sanders had one big run, but they did not score on a drive that there wasn't a penalty of 12 or more yards, I believe. So that just tells you about how the penalties last night really carried them, which we'll get into that topic here in a second. But it was a sloppy win. It wasn't pretty. The Cowboys, I definitely think, got carried by the referees. The referee was subpar at best. As soon as I was sitting there at the stadium and they announced Sean Smith was the referee, I went, oh, fuck, to myself. I literally went, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Because it's chaotic every time. It's not good. It's not fun. And it's just, for Eagles fans, that guy does not give us a good rap. But Jalen Hurts thought he performed pretty well last night. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. But I'm just thinking about the way he ran. I know a lot of fans aren't too crazy about his passing stats and the way that he threw the ball. But if you look at when he slid and when he decided to take off running, it wasn't like the old Jalen Hurts where he would take off running right away. He went through his progressions, and it was the best decision to make at the time to take off, and he did it. So I respect it. And he knew when to slide. So I think we're going to see a new maturity out of Jalen Hurts that we didn't see before. Jalen Hurts is the ultimate team player, the ultimate winner. And that's what I think is really going to get this team over the hump this year. And I think that's what really got this team over the hump last year.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, I think his QBR percentage completion was 93.3. And I think Dak Prescott was at 81.1. So I mean, yeah, Jalen Hurts, like he that one run he had, he probably wanted to keep going, but he slid instead. I think it was a great heads up play by Jalen Hurts. But yeah, he just needs to kind of let the play develop. He kind of goes in spurts where he lets the play develop, and then sometimes he's kind of quick to get out of the pocket and run with the ball. But I mean, one concern I have is with uh, Landon Dickerson. He went down on injury last night in the third or fourth quarter, and he maybe came back too soon. But I'm confident in this team, and I think we can get it done as long as we stay healthy. If we don't stay healthy, then it's a whole different season. So we got to figure what works for us. But like I said, overall, the Birds look good. Smitty looked good. Dallas Goedert looked good. Obviously, Dallas Goedert always plays well against the Cowboys. I mean, even Will Shipley, he played a great game last night. And then A.J. Dillon. I think Will Shipley is our running back too. And I saw a glimpse of hope out of Will Shipley. And I was always high on Will Shipley coming out of college. I loved him at Clemson. And he is a good running back too for us. So we'll see how his season develops, but I'm excited to see how the season develops as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a good depth piece. He reminds me a lot of Danny Woodhead, especially the way he ran last night. And if they can start to develop that rushing wise, it's going to be even better. We'll get to this now. I just want to address the elephant in the room for everybody that came through. The Eagles made a trade today for Za'Darius Smith. So if you're watching this post game, even later this week, it still has relevancy right now, being that Za'Darius Smith is a really good pass rusher. I believe 12 sacks last year. He's been around the block, really good when he was with the Packers. That's kind of when I remember him, former Lion, been around. Now he's a Philadelphia Eagle on a 1-year deal. I'm pretty happy about this signing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's smart for the Eagles to take a low risk, high reward. We know Howie loves kind of edge rushers that have proven themselves but are aging. He can kind of bring them in a rotation role. Look at BG, for God's sake, last year, right? When Bryce Huff went down and that whole experiment didn't work out, BG was the one that really stepped up. BG was playing damn near 75%, 50% of snaps in an age when, and in a role that he was told he would be playing like 30% of snaps. Like that was the expectation going into last year, is that we would start to use Brandon Graham less. Then the injury happened. Nolan Smith had to step up. But I think what Howie Roseman is seeing is Nolan's good, but Nolan's at his best when he's in a rotation, if that makes sense. When he can be charged up, when he can be watching things, he's very smart. So when he can sit there on the sideline for a couple plays and study too, and then come out there and apply that right away, now that he has the experience too, he has the reps, I think he's going to be dangerous. But that's when he's at his best. I think they're still young, these guys, right? I don't think that they're at the role yet of where Howie can sign them to this big, long contract and they're going to be able to fill these shoes that Brandon Graham had. I like this signing. I like this move. And it brings in sort of an unk, right? If you guys like that in the comments, drop a comment. But it's like an unk, right? It brings in somebody that's wise, somebody that has good personality, and fuck it, low risk, high reward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely something that we needed on defense, just to have depth at that position. And I don't think we traded. I think we just signed him on waivers. I don't think we
even
traded.
better. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's a 1-year, $9 million deal. We'll see what happens. I think it's a good move. I'm surprised we made a move this early in the season. I wonder how we saw last night that made him decide to to sign Za'Darius Smith. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, from what some of the highlights I've seen, he's a reliable D-end edge rusher. And who knows? I think that is one position that you want to have depth at, because those interior D-line can really ruin a game. And I think it is a big it's definitely a big pick for us. A big pick up for us.
Let's go ahead and I'm sure you can hear this call and ring, and let's go ahead and pick up this call. And this is our boy Steven Roth. He is hilarious, and he's always got great stuff to say. Steven
Roth.
Happy Friday night, man. How you doing?
Howdy.
How are you? Good?
Fantastic. I'm fantastic. So I have some stuff to say about last night's game. Okay. So yes, the Eagles won. Okay. I know that you were at the game. If you saw when Cardle spit at Prescott, there was a plot twist to that. Prescott did it first, but he spit to the ground. Then Cardle instigated it. Do I really think that was a disqualification right there? No, I don't think so at all. I think that the refs really overreacted on that. I think that what really should have happened, that there should have been unsportsmanlike conduct or something like that, than just throwing him out of the game at the beginning of the whole entire game. The offense did good, but the defense really did good as well. But they have a lot of stuff to work on. I'm being honest, they really do. It was really sloppy, but the Eagles still beat the Cowboys, and they did not allow them to score in the second half at all. That was great, but it should have been a better game. It really should, because I was predicting my score-wise yesterday 35-10, not 24-20, but a win is a win.
You're not wrong. Now, can I ask you a question, Steven?
Go ahead.
Do you think that Jalen Carter got baited? Like the Cowboys, talk about this in their locker room before the game and said, hey, let's go out there and before even a snap is played, let's try to get Jalen Carter, the Eagles' best player, kicked out?
I really think that Carter got baited. Absolutely, he did. Because he should never. First of all, he really should never spit it in the first place. But my opinion is he really got baited, 100%. And the referee should have done something a little bit better than disqualify him like that, because it was really unnecessary in the heartbeat. Just really was.
Yeah, I really think, if anything, it was a big veteran move from Dak Prescott. He knew Jalen Carter is probably one of our best defensive players we have on the defense this year, and he knew Jalen Carter's a hothead. So even though it was in the direction of Jalen Carter, I think he knew that he would react that way. I don't support the fact that Jalen Carter reacted the way he did. But I think Jalen Carter apologized. And I think Jalen Hurts also kind of like put him in the spot. But it was definitely a heads up veteran move. And what really bugged me the most was the fact that it took 3 hours for them to show the final film of like what actually happened, because all they showed was Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott. They didn't show the full video until during the rain out or the lightning out. So that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. At first, I was like, okay, well, Jalen Carter shouldn't be doing that. That was the dumbest thing he's ever done. But then once I saw that full video, I was like, oh, well, this is why he reacted that way. So I just was surprised, confused on why it took them that long to send out the final film of why Jalen Carter reacted the way he did.
Yeah, I was really surprised as well, and it's like, okay, so he got disqualified just for that, like seriously. But what the network really should have done was during halftime, they really should have done the whole entire video during halftime, not doing the lightning delay. Because it's like
that was when we found out.
It's like, seriously, you were a little too late. You should have showed it much more earlier than that crap. And man, I really wish Chris Collinsworth wasn't on TV at all yesterday because a lot of what he said yesterday made absolutely no sense. It's like I just want to punch him in the face for one day, please.
Yep, I agree. I never liked Chris Collinsworth at all. But yeah, I think Jalen Carter has learned. I don't think we'll see him ever doing that again. I'm sure he'll get a fine. I'm sure Dak will probably get a fine as well. But yeah, it was just we saw a gaping hole in our D line or our defense once that happened. I mean, we didn't get a single down of offense for the Cowboys, and it happened. So we definitely need Jalen Carter because some of the plays, like I was talking earlier, Jordan Davis missed a few sacks. Jalen Carter would have been there. Javonte Williams was running up all over our defense, and because with Jalen Carter out, there's no one to plug up that hole. So definitely think we saw a difference. I'm glad it was closer, or I'm glad we won the game. It was a little too close for comfort, for sure.
Oh, absolutely, it was. But another thing is, if Jalen Carter was still in the game, do you think that this would definitely made a big difference of the outcome of the game yesterday? Do you really think? Because I think it really would have made a bigger outcome than it was yesterday.
150,000 million%, Steven. It's funny because literally within the first 2 minutes of the game, there were at least 2 or 3 plays that I went, well, Jalen Carter was there. Not only would he have maybe made the sack, but he would have been getting double team, triple team. So somebody else would have gotten free and gotten home and got after Dak Prescott. So I 100% think having a player like Jalen Carter out for a reason like this, not only physically impacts the team, but I think it also mentally held them back a little bit. I think it was a weird start to the season. Not only Carter, but Van Sumeren got carted off too. So it was just a really weird sequence of events. And I'll tell you this, Steve, in all my years watching the Eagles, never have I seen a rain delay. That's what it was. It was a rain delay. I was there for football. There was like 4 or 5 lightning strikes we counted through a span of like 40 minutes. And the lightning strikes were 4 or 5 miles away. Like you couldn't actually see the lightning. All you saw was just a little flash. I have a video of one of them on my phone. So really weird game. And I think that part of it being played so late and the team going into it not knowing that it was going to be played so late played an impact on to the fact that they were a little bit stagnant.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They were very stagnant yesterday. There just was. And let me just put a clarification now because I know that at the link it said the National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning. That's not even true. There was no severe thunderstorm warning. It was just a thunderstorm that just blew up that big. There was no severe thunderstorm warning at all. So I'm just going to put that out there to everybody. If you were at the lake yesterday and you were confused about the severe thunderstorm warning, that's not true. There was a cell that was going over Philadelphia that had lightning strikes. That's all.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Well, hey, Steve, I appreciate you calling in. Any concluding thoughts or anything you want to say as we kick off the season? Because I'm sure we'll get you to call in here a lot more throughout the season.
Oh, I definitely will. And when the Phillies win, I'll be calling back again. So I know that the Eagles will be facing the Chiefs next Sunday afternoon on Fox. Okay, what they need to do is clean it up big time. Okay, and go out there next Sunday and beat the Chiefs.
I agree, man. Get ready for it. Well, hey, we'll see you on the Phillies post-game show. I'm not sure if we're doing it yet. I think we are, but if we don't, we'll definitely be live tomorrow. But other than that, I'll see you tonight, okay, man?
Okay.
Can I get a go Birds?
Go Birds! And Jalen freaking Hurts.
Yeah!
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's how you do it. That's a good call. And shout out to Steven Roth, always hooking us up. But an interesting perspective there on Spitgate. I mean, let's talk about Spitgate for a second. So it was really weird when it happened because everybody didn't know in the state. Word travels a lot slower in the stadium when you're there because you're sitting in the stadium, right? The Wi-Fi sucks ass. You're watching the game. You're trying to post content if you're me. So we had no clue that any of that spitting happened because we're sitting in the nosebleed. So we're up high. And even the people sitting in their seats, it was even hard to see the spit on TV, I think, a little bit. So if you were actually at the game and had trouble, I could only imagine. But I think even though I blame Dak, right? I blame Dak Prescott for Spitgate because Dak Prescott, I think, talked about it in the locker room and said, you know what? I'm going to try to bait him. I think it was an honest mistake. But when you make an honest mistake, you need to look back and not like body language is 70% of communication. And going like this inside your helmet is a smug look that basically told Jalen Carter that was intentional. So I understand Carter's frustration. I don't understand or condone two wrongs make a right and spitting on someone again. Number one, he didn't spit on you. He spit in front of you. And number two, come on, man. You just got to be smarter than that. Like, you got to be smarter than that. You're going to get caught by the refs, and you're probably going to get suspended for a game. So it's not just because Dak Prescott is the NFL's golden child. They love the Cowboys. So you just hit the QB of the Cowboys, dude. You're going to be out for 2 games now. This is going to hurt the team. And I do respect and like that Jalen Carter took accountability after the game. He knew he fucked up, but he also knows how to tell the fans what they want to hear. You got to react better in that situation, man. So I really pray that this is the last time we see something like this from him. And I think it will be, but frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, it's never a good way to start game 1, week 1 of the opening season to get ejected from a game where you would have been a difference maker, especially Jalen Carter, who is the pride and joy of that defense. But again, you know, I was watching at home, and I mean, he hawked a pretty big loogie. So it was disgusting. It was foul, but again, like I said, with Dak Prescott being the veteran he is, that was such a veteran move for him to get a reaction of Jalen Carter, knowing a young player who's a hothead, who has had issues in the past before with the refs on doing dumb shit, that Dak Prescott was going to get him kicked off. I mean, and not to mention when Jalen Carter reacted to Dak Prescott spitting, the ref was right there. So there was no way getting out of it. He was not there when Dak Prescott did it the first time, but like I said, you did it clear as day in front of the ref. So you just got to be smarter and not put yourself in a situation like that ever again. Because, like I said, he was an asset to this defense, and seeing him not on the field was very weird. And just the absence of him made a huge difference. I'm glad, like I said, we got the win, but I think it would have been a way different game. I think it probably would have been 35-10 if Jalen Carter was still there.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a different score. The Birds would have been kicking way more ass if he played. And it was flags galore. Well, not flags galore. There it is. There was flags galore, man. It was not looking good. There were so many penalties. Some of them were the team's fault. I do think that the team should have played a little bit of preseason, but some of them were really Sean Smith, the ref's fault.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was like in the first half or second half, but we see Tyler Guyton, the right guard on Dallas, pretty much bitch slap Jalix Hunt or Young on the edge, and they didn't call that at all. Then we get a penalty in the end zone where it was defensive receiver where Reed Blankenship went in, played great defense. Ferguson was still going after the ball, so he hit him. It was a clean hit. They got a flag for that. And then one of the dumbest things ever was the taunting call on Nolan Smith. That was the most bullshit penalty I've ever seen, because all he did was he tackled him, was 5-6 yards away from whoever he's tackled, and flexed. It's a normal move that you do once you have a tackle for loss, and they gave a flag for taunting. And I looked at Josh, and I was like, this is why I hate our generation. We are so soft. Like, it wasn't even like an egregious like flex. He literally was not standing over him at all. He flexed and he threw the penalty. So just costly penalties. I mean, I think all of the penalties were on defense, if I'm not wrong. I don't think there was a single offensive, maybe a hold here and there, but nothing as bad as it was last year. But the defense, that was just crazy. And they missed so many calls on the Cowboys, but they called it all on the Eagles. So it just kind of pissed me off. Just some of those stupid flags they threw was insanity. It was annoying. It was quite annoying to watch as a fan.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. I mean, let the boys play, right? Let the boys play. And speaking of, if you guys want to play, call into the show 302-316-4848. That's 302-316-4848. But yeah, man, just so many flags. It felt like once we got to the second quarter and they kept coming, I remember looking at Mooner and Havens, because shout out to Mooner and Havens, Under the Wing podcast, Tuesday nights on 302 Birds, 805. But I said to them, it was their first game. And what a game to go to, right? The Dallas home opener. They were hyped up. I said, it's not normally like this. Like, the refs aren't usually like this. But Sean Smith, if you know, you know, is kind of like that. So that was frustrating. It is what it is. But let the boys play. And Adoree, I was calling Adore No. KJ McCoy, shout out to him, he calls him Adoree No Action Jackson. We call you Action Jackson because you get action. We call Adoree Jackson No Action. He did have, I'll give him this, he had one good breakup, but he went in the tent with what sounded like a hand injury last night from what we heard. I don't know. I didn't get to read up on the report. I had 4 hours of sleep and then work. And then when I got home, I pretty much been messing around with this since then. Sorry for the late start. We were supposed to start at around 7, but then the audio was fun, but we got it working now. It's all good. We'll be doing this all season, so it's fine. But yeah, man, Adoree Jackson just not even a, like, you know, Flex Seal, how you can just fucking put it on shit sometimes and it just help. It's not even like that. He's like fucking Scotch tape. Not good at all. Goes right through it. Super thin, super flimsy. And I'm not talking about his physical build. I'm just talking about Scotch tape, like an analogy. But his coverage, he was getting torched by CeeDee Lamb. Torched. Every time CeeDee Lamb ran a slant, it was like Madden, right? Like a 95 speed versus a 70. It looked like a freaking wide receiver running against a linebacker at certain points, and the brother's a quarterback. So, yeah. They better.
No, that was, we had probably like 12 people here, all Eagles fans, and that was our biggest takeaway was Adoree Jackson got torched every single play against CeeDee Lamb. He ended up like 5 or 6 yards off of CeeDee Lamb every single time. And when I saw the scouting report that he's starting tonight, I was like, oh my God, why are we doing this? Like, this is not a smart move. He was a great player in the past. And I mean, from what I saw, even in preseason, he wasn't a good player. And the fact that he got torched like he did by CeeDee Lamb, granted, CeeDee Lamb is a top 5, top 10 receiver in the NFL. But it just seemed like there was no answer to breaking up CeeDee Lamb. And why would you put Adoree Jackson on their best receiver? Why wouldn't you put Quinyon Mitchell, who Quintana Bay last year locked down all of the top 5 receivers last year? Granted, CeeDee Lamb was also torching Quinyon Mitchell. He did a few plays against Quinyon Mitchell. It just seemed like these cornerbacks, the coverage was off. And I mean, I think we struggled with it last season, kind of in the beginning of the season, then we got better. But I mean, the Chiefs we're playing them next week. They're not where they used to be. They're still a great team. They don't have a CeeDee Lamb. They don't really have that much of a core wide receiver core at all. But no matter what, we have the hardest schedule this season, and we're playing against really good receivers. So we gotta get the right matchups, because it wasn't the answer last night putting Adoree Jackson on CeeDee Lamb. You know, that was the majority of the game. And CeeDee Lamb, I don't even know how many yards he had, but it just, luckily he sucks in the last 2 minutes of the game, because that was an insanity as well, where he dropped 2 balls. We should have had picks with Reed Blankenship. Like, this secondary going to the season, I was confident in. Now seeing how they played last week or last night, I have no confidence in this secondary. So we got to figure it out because, granted, this is week 1. We're still trying to work out the kinks, but as we get later in the season, we got to figure something out because if we play like we did last night against a better opponent, we're done. We're screwed. So we got to figure the defense out because they did not look the greatest last night.
Yeah, they looked like they need a lot of work. Now, I will say once Ja'Cory and Bennett got in, it was like a freaking flip of a switch.
Oh, yeah, for
They
sure.
just looked a ton better, a ton more confident. And same with Dotson. I mean, if anybody wants to call on the show and let us know what you thought about Jahan Dotson, feel free. I thought he looked pretty solid. I mean, every time the ball was thrown his way, he got open. Now, I think that's also thanks to Patullo, who we'll get to here in a second as well. I think he was drawing up some really good play calling. But I do think that Dotson, every time his name was called, he answered. And I think that this year could be a good year for Dotson because every team knows, okay, it's AJ. Okay, it's Devontae. Okay, it's Barkley. Well, who's that going to leave? Goddard, yes, who we saw last night, and also Dotson. So if you're a fantasy football owner, I would actually stack up on those two players. If you're also a fantasy football owner, as much as I love A.J. Brown, and I know he only had 1 catch, end of the game, 8 yards, wasn't too crazy about it, I would actually look to trade A.J. Brown if I was any of you guys. A.J. Brown's awesome. I think he's going to have a good year, but you're going to be reliant on Jalen Hurts first, A.J. Brown second, if that makes sense. Like Jalen Hurts is going to play to the Eagles first and the team first, not to A.J. Brown what he wants. Like that ball's got to go around a lot more in the Eagles offense. So with that being said, I would really look to stock up on this guy. Now, as far as AJ goes as a teammate, I think he handled it the perfect way. He was happy to be here. He was happy about it, the whole 9. But he's a great teammate. So all in all, yeah, I really like Jahan Dotson. I also really like the guy on this one on the bottom who I should have started with being an our guy, Jahad Campbell. He just looked like a stud, man. A stud. He really looked really confident, happy with himself, the whole thing. So I think he's really playing out of his mind and going to just be a stud. I think he was the highest graded defensive player last night in the game. Sorry, I was texting. If you're a 302 number that just gave us a call ending in the number 4, I won't expose you. But give us a call back. We'd love for you to call in. Don't be shy. I was calling for a second and then it hung up. I just texted you. But I really think Jahad Campbell, a lot of J's on this team. He looked like an NFL All-Pro already. Like he looked like a Pro Bowler, dude. And that was his first NFL game, and he was the highest graded defensive player on the field. Him and Zach Bond, I think, are going to have a generational season. But Jack, what are you thinking about Jahad Campbell?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he played out of his mind last night. He had a few good plays. I mean, we saw the play where he was kind of playing looked like a QB spy, and then he dropped back and then broke up that pass. I mean, I think we expected this out of Jahad Campbell. And I think as the season goes on, he's going to be more of a issue, a menace to deal with, because this dude from where he was at Alabama played phenomenal football. And I'm glad we picked him up because that was one position that we struggled with. I mean, yeah, we got Zach Bond, but we didn't have that tandem. And I think if we see as the season goes on, once Dean gets better, they may be splitting time. But yeah, matching up Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell, I think is a great tandem. And I think Jahad Campbell is going to get better and better as the season goes on. Granted, like I said, he played a few preseason games, or he played it in all the preseason games, or maybe 2 of them. Didn't really do much. I think that was kind of more of a wake-up call, like, holy shit, I'm in the NFL. But from what I saw last night, I think this dude's ready for the league, and I think we'll see something good come out of this guy, and I'm excited to be on the ride with him.
When do you think he'll be playing like to full level? When do you think he could be, quote unquote, playing out of his mind?
Let me look at the Eagles schedule real quick. I want to say week 5. That is against 2, 3, 4, 5 against the Broncos, October 5th. I think that's going to be a big game for him, and also the Bucks. I think those 2 games back to back will be big kind of breakout games for him because the Bucks are a very good team and they've gotten better since the draft. And the Broncos, they're Bo Nix. We'll see what happens with him. Hopefully, he doesn't have a sophomore slump because I have him in my fantasy league. But the Broncos are a force to be reckoned with. They could probably get second or win their division. So I think those are the 2 weeks we'll see Jahad kind of get out of his shell.
Yeah. I think he really is going to
Playoff.
impress a lot of people.
Yeah.
Where they picked him, 30 people passed on him. I didn't know that until I saw his number, and I think somebody was saying it as well. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That has a cool meaning. But yeah, he's really found his way. And so is Zach Bond. Zach Bond is really reminding me of like 2015, 2014, 2016 Luke Kuechly when he just dominated. And year in and year out, he was like the defensive player of the year. Playing next to, I think, Thomas Davis Sr. Was, if I'm not mistaken, was the guy who in Carolina he balled out next to. That was one of the greatest linebacker duos. Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, another great linebacking duo. This one right here in Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell, Eagles fans, buckle up. I thought Zach Bond and Kobe Dean was going to be great. This dude has the pedigree of a linebacker for Howie Roseman that was worth it enough for him to draft in the first round. I'm not knocking Nakobe. Nakobe's a stud. Nakobe should have been drafted higher too. I think it was partially because of the injury. And Nakobe, when he's playing, is amazing. We saw it last year in the Jaguars game. But Jahad is just a different animal. He's a stud. He's a freak. Whatever you want to say, this guy is a football player. And he just knows what he's doing. He has a nose for the football. He has a nose for pursuing the ball carrier. And every time he gets after the ball carrier, I'm very happy with it. He had a great camp. And hearing the way that Cooper DeJean talks about him too, just hypes me up. It really gets me excited about him. And I'm like, all right, you know what? If all these guys are speaking highly of him, I think that's a good thing. So keep calling in the show if you guys want. We've only gotten one person that's called since then. Otherwise, we would have picked it up. But it's 302-316-4848. But yeah, I didn't even give you a chance to talk about it. Sorry, I didn't even mean to do that. But how did you feel about like he had a Luke Kuechly-like season last year, Zach Bond, but he looked on fire last night.
Yeah, no, I'll be brief. I think he was the best defensive player out there on the field for the Eagles. Man, I don't know what he did in the offseason, but that dude got fast. He tracked down that guy, stopped a touchdown. Like, that's something that's what grit is. And, you know, when we have grit week, we hear it on Barstool, part of my take. What does the word grit mean to you? And that's grit. Somebody who just keeps his foot on the pedal and just pushes himself like no one else, and tracking down someone who could have potentially scored a touchdown and just the breakup passes. It just excites me. I really do like Zach Bond, and I think it was a great idea to extend his contract. But yeah, I think we're in for a treat this year with Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, and Nakobe Dean. So I can't wait to see that ride.
Me too. But let us know in the comments who you're most excited about seeing this year. Somebody who I was excited about seeing this year and last night was Patullo. I mean, he really looked confident. I talked about it a little bit during the Dotson segment, but the way he drew up plays last night, I felt good about. Even the run game, right? Like, I really like the play calling of the tosses and the sweep when he called it. It was appropriate timing. The swing block was good. I really thought it looked sharp, the offense last night. And look, I think that the way the NFL is trending, it's harder to start out week one hot because especially when you're not going to play in the preseason because they don't want you to get injured and all that, you're not going to start off hot like you did a couple years ago. It's different now. I'm happy with the way that this game went as well because there was also the lightning delay. I've never seen anything like that in my life. So the fact that they, after sitting in the like, it's very, and Jack can, I'm sure, speak to this more than me. What's it like when, because I'm sure you've been in some weather delays, even just playing high school football. Shout out to Sally's. Go Sal's.
Go Sal's.
When you were at Sally's, what's it like? Halftime is a known time that you know you're going to go in the locker room and come back. But
Right.
What's it like going in the locker room any other time during a game and having to come back and get in that game mindset?
It just kind of, I mean, for my experience, when we would have delays on the field, we would just go in, kind of chill for the first, 10 minutes. And then we got, speeches from the captains just to hype us up because we saw it last night. I mean, nothing happened after the lightning delay at all. So just having that like confidence to like keep your body running, stay hydrated, because the more you sit in the locker room due to a delay, the more likely you'll get cramps. So just kind of making sure you're healthy, like taking your liquid IVs or whatever it may be, really gets the juices flowing, and doing like little exercises in the locker room, stretching a little bit just to keep yourself loose, because the moment you like don't do that, your game's done. So, but yeah, I mean, Kevin Patullo, he just surprised me. We have said it. Jalen Hurts has had 4 or 5 different coordinators since he's been in the NFL, or since he's been in the NFL. And I was a little nervous, Kellen Moore was such a great offensive coordinator. I'm not sure what Kevin Patullo can do. But then one thing that he mentioned before the game, like on Wednesday, that Jahan Dotson and Jalen Hurts bonded because A.J. Brown has been injured on a calf injury or something like that. So just like him hearing that come out of the locker room, I knew Jahan Dotson was going to have a game. So, yeah, I really do like Kevin Patullo. I think it was a great hire. I mean, I think it was smart to hire within the organization. We see teams try to hire outside the organization. It may work out. It may not work out. But, yeah, I'm really excited for him, and I can't wait for how the season goes. You're muted, bud.
Yeah, I can't wait too. Sorry. And last night was a movie. It was insane. Like Joey said it best on his Facebook. I know a lot of white dudes say things are a movie and then they're not. Yeah, it was a real movie. I promise. It was so much fun. Honestly, one of my favorite. I'm beat. Like after this post-game show's done, Steven, that's why we might not do the Phillies post-game show, Steve. I woke up at 3:55 yesterday morning. Left our house at 4:30. Shout out to Joey Havens and Mooner. Havens drove, Mooner rode along, and the three of us went up to the link, and they got to see what it was like to really tailgate with real NFL fans, right? So we got there, and as soon as we got there, we had this one lady, and I'll get the interview queued up. But long story short, she was a Cowboys fan, and I'll show you guys in a second what it was like, what vibes were like at 5 a.m. But she was quite the crazy woman, had quite the fun things to say. Nady was out there as well with his dog, which was a bunch of fun. He got a Rottweiler named Rosie. So the dog is one of the best trained dogs I've ever seen in my life, right? And if you guys know, you know, good poochie, right? Good pooch. So a Cowboys fan comes up. The dog growls right away as a Cowboys fan, instinctively. I'm going to show you the clip in a second. Me, I stick out my hand. If you guys are dog people, if you know. Usually underhand, let the dog sniff you, going slow, don't sudden movement jump. So I'm like letting the Rottweiler sniff me, and Nady's a great dog trainer too. The dog's super well behaved, giving me kisses, giving me hugs. And then the Cowboys fan comes up again, and the dog growls at the Cowboys fan. So it's almost on par.
I got 2 dogs. I know how they play. Fuck that.
That might not be the best.
Wake up, Birthday! Listen, I just came to say.
You just got here and there's already dogs growling at you.
Listen.
What the hell?
There's the
Listen, I
dog.
just came to say,
You
may
might
the
be
fourth be
them
with you.
boys.
I'm the nice part of them boys. I'm them studs. Still them boys. But
We need you to be them boys and continue being them boys because we some dogs. Let's go! You know, you're the best Cowboy fan we've seen all day. We crown you.
Listen,
We
no,
just need a good
no,
picture.
no.
Them Crocs are 2 sizes too big.
Well, yeah, because I'm walking in my boys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We big stepping. Everything is a metaphor.
I guess if you're big
We
stepping,
big
it helps have bigger
stepping.
shoes.
And listen, you see the love. Because I'm in the city of what?
We call that
Rainbow
clown.
love. Everything is a metaphor, baby. Get it. Enjoy it. I'm going to ask you a question for you. Anybody else?
Quintana,
I
man.
wanna, listen, you willing to take 2
Quintana.
brand new shiny rings or 5 vintage?
Where do you find these amazing dogs? Because, dude, as soon as she came up,
She found
Rosie
me. She found
started
me.
growling.
That's Rosie Posey. She found me. She don't take that mess. She knows Dallas sucks.
How do you think Dak Prescott
He's like,
is going to
"There's
do
a
today?
fourth
Nah, he
with
sucks,
you."
dude.
His
Where'd
name
it
Man ain't
go?
the
He
fourth.
might not make it out of the ring alive.
Dallas sucks.
Let's
H-E-L-E-S, Eagles!
And that was what tailgating looks like at 4 o'clock in the morning. With
Dude.
some real Eagles fans. Shout out to Holden and shout out to Nady.
Yeah, the guy that came up with the backwards hat with the green hat, when he responded, he sounded like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That was crazy. That was amazing. But yeah, that's funny that Rosie was growling at a Cowboys fan. I mean, dogs know, baby. We them dogs for sure. How was
And
the
her
tailgate?
aura and energy was like, if you saw in the video, she was coming up the sidewalk, bird gang, bird gang. I don't know what she was on, but I was like, yo, I'll take 2 of them. I'm going in there. I need something. You know, put me on some ice. But she was feeling herself. So I had to give some respect to her because she couldn't walk 5. Like, she also couldn't have picked the fucking worst place to choose to walk. She wasn't going to work. She worked at Xfinity Live. She's like, I'm just down here chilling. She walked literally down the RV line. So here's the thing. We're in a line, and Micah Parsons' family is in the very front of the RV line, right behind, couple cars behind, give or take, Chris Nady and Sean Holden from Hungry Dogs Tailgate. So they're all doing their thing. Micah Parsons' dad straight up says, fuck the Cowboys, they traded my son. Nady has a photo with Micah Parsons' dad wearing Cowboys gear and a chain that says Dallas sucks with 2 Super Bowls on it. You can go look on his Instagram. It's Micah Parsons' father. So it was already wild. I think she knew that. She got some backup there. And then once she got to our side, she was just blown away. But it was really cool for Joey and Mooner, as we call him, because Joey busts his ass for this podcast and this group. I really love you, Joey. You do a great job. Joey's been a friend of mine, for 2 or 3 years now. And I wanted to make this special for Joey and for Mooner because they do so much for us. And I was like, you know what? We're going to have a good time. We're going to do some, crazy tailgate stuff. Not anything bad. Like there were punching bags where you could hit a Cowboys fan, a fake Cowboys fan. I went nuts on it. That clip will get posted sometime soon. But there were just so many moments that were great. So if you guys were out at the tailgate yesterday, if you were struggling to wake up at work today, let us know in the comments. What was your favorite part? What are you most looking forward to? Because God, there were so many moments that it just felt like
I saw clips and it seemed like it was insanity at the link yesterday. Just tailgaters there was a dude that was busted open from like his eyebrow. Like it just seemed like a mess. Like I watched this clip and it was all Eagles fans just squaring up and just swinging on each other. So I don't know what happened there, but I'm glad I didn't go because that would have been too much for me. But it seemed like everyone had a good time. So was it insanity? At the link. Was that your first tailgate you went to after Super Bowl at the link?
Yeah, that was because I didn't go to any preseason games, which preseasons are what I call like a half-ass tailgate. It's still a tailgate. Our preseason tailgates probably outdo a lot of NFL teams' tailgates. But yeah, that was my first tailgate since the Super Bowl.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
And I think I'm not the only one either. You know, I think
Right.
that was the majority of the people there. Because a lot of people, I asked them, I was like, what does this mean to you? What's it like being a lifelong Eagles fan? Because the first time the Eagles had the banner night, I didn't go. And I didn't really know. We were watching the game in our dorm in Rashford at St. Joe's, Meatball Park, Tommy. So we're living in Philly in our apartment.
That's sick.
Everybody got a felt banner. Like, it's basically the same style as the Phillies banner I had back here, except it's about, I would say, half the size, maybe. It's still pretty decently sized, but it's about half the size. So everybody got one of them, which I think just set the tone for the night and set everything off right. And it was a party. We also saw 3 ejections, one of them being Eagles fans. I'll talk about that one first. Don't be an asshole Eagles fan at the game. Don't misrepresent us because everything fucking goes viral now. And it's usually not a good way. We were sitting up in section 240 last night, maybe 440. I think 240. So section 240, a whole soda without the lid went flying. And it was aimed at a Cowboys fan that was getting ejected. We were doing the asshole chant, you know, all good fun, whatever. But somebody actually was going to throw a full soda, like it looked like Coke or Dr. Pepper. It was brown colored, at someone. So then it actually missed and it hit a mother. It hit a mom. And it was an Eagles fan. Come on. Do better. That's like friendly fire. You're starting civil war. You're trying to be cool. And it was far, dude. Like it would have been like row 28 down to row 3. It was like a 25 row throw. And you guys know, if you know, the link is steep. It goes down like this. So when you chuck something, it basically gets more like I could probably fucking throw a football so far at the link, and I'm not good at football. My point being, anyone could. So that thing just traveled and it got speed. You knew it had to hurt her, but she was just in so much shock and mainly embarrassment, I think. Like, it was a mom. She was going out with her kids. She was having a night. She had her makeup all done. She had her outfit on. You know, she was really excited. And somebody ruined that family's night. So that's fucked up. Do better. That wasn't cool. Then there was another one where it was I think that this one was an inside job. This guy basically flopped a Cowboys fan and got him kicked out. It wasn't physical, but he went up and told the guard that they got into an argument, and then that started an argument, and then the Cowboys fan just didn't react well and got kicked out. Then there was another one, the one we posted on Instagram, which was during the banner drop. One Cowboys fan, she just wouldn't refuse to go back to her section. I swear to God. So this freaking chick is standing there, and she's like, oh, yeah. She's in her own world. Like, she had to be on something, too. And she's got her Rita's water ice, and she starts looking up at us, and she's looking at, you know, all of us, like, making faces. Like, we're like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. The dude's in the row in front of us. What are you doing here? Get out of here. And she was in somebody's seat and was refusing to move. So they brought up like 4 or 5 security guards and they had to carry her out. So, yeah. Cowboys fans getting ejected left and right. Pretty crazy game. Pretty crazy tailgate. But I think that's pretty much all we got as far as everything goes there. Let's talk about this signing and then go ahead and wrap up the show. I know it's a longer post game, but it's the first game of the year. It's been an off season. We just wanted to check in with you guys. But Za'Darius Smith as an Eagle. What does this signing tell you, Jack?
It surprises me that we did it so quickly after the first game of the season. It may be trouble in paradise. We may need depth. I think it's a great signing, but it kind of gives me concern. Maybe Jalen Carter is going to get suspended for a few games after what he did last night. So I love the pickup, but it leaves me with questions for sure.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it makes me happy. I think it shows that Howie Roseman is going after an edge. Like, he's saying, you know what? We are making sure that we have another opportunity to go figure out how to make another artist have to design one of these and figure out what are we going to do to one-up this, right? This is the coolest ring ever. I can't stop fidgeting with it. Just amazing. But what are we going to do to one-up this ring? What are we going to do to make it cooler? And he's going to put that artist in that scenario by making sure we win a Super Bowl, a third one. We're going to get there. I can see it now. It's going to be a bumpy ride, dude. There's going to be doubts. There's going to be a lot of doubts. I'm already doubting a lot about this team after last night's performance. But I think Howie Roseman is making sure he does his job, which is padding the depth of the team, adding more guys that can play a role, come in and play a role. That's the biggest thing. Just play a role. Do your job. Don't focus on doing too much. If you're the third down pass rusher, be the third down pass rusher. If you're the primary pass rusher, be the primary pass rusher. Then come out on third down, take a breather. But do what you're supposed to do. Don't overthink it and go out and get another Super Bowl ring because that's the main goal. But, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was looking at his stats, and in his career total, he has 220 solo tackles, 113 assists, 69 sacks, forced fumbles, he's at 10. Fumble recoveries at 2. I mean, he's been in the league now for 10 years. I think those numbers, and it seems like each year the numbers went up. So yeah, I think he's still, even though he's a little older than most of the D-line, I think he's the oldest player on the D-line by far. He still has it in him. And I think we'll see, we'll rely on him heavily, depending on what happens with Jalen Carter.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. Well, hey, let's go ahead and get into our last segment. A quick 30-second each.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The final word, the boldest take, the mic drop moment that hits harder than a Rocky's right hook. This is the Knockout Punch, powered by Balboa Steaks, the undefeated king of Delaware steaks. Bold takes, big bites. Let's swing.
Shout out to Balboa Steaks for sponsoring this segment. But my knockout take sponsored by Balboa Steaks is going to be, I think Za'Darius Smith goes out and has 2 sacks in his debut. I really think he's going to show up for the Birds. He's going to make us proud. And if he suits up, I do think he's going to have 2 sacks. Yeah, he will suit up because he's going to have a week and a half. He's going to have plenty of time to learn the playbook. And I do think, like Jack said, he will be an impact player. So that is my knockout take on the Knockout Punch, powered by Balboa Steaks, the undisputed king of Delaware steaks. Go check them out. Jack, what's your knockout take?
Yeah, I think this is it obviously is. It's a rematch of the Super Bowl last year. I think we're going to see A.J. Brown give me 80 yards. I think he's going to have more receptions against the Chiefs, and I think Devontae Smith is going to have more receptions as well. I think they'll probably go 80. No, you know what? A.J. Brown's going to go 100 yards next week, and I think Smitty's going to go 80. So combined total 180 yards passing or receiving. I mean, dude, my Balboa's knockout punch for this week was Jahan Dotson popping off. I called that 51-yard pass. I was like, this is going deep.
You did.
And he's one of those players that you can rely on. So I think we'll see more out of Jahan Dotson and using this offense.
So you're 1 for 1 technically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. But guys, be sure to check out Balboa Steaks right off of Main Street in Newark, Delaware. The best place to get cheesesteaks, roast pork, chicken cheesesteaks. If you can think it as a sandwich or as a hoagie, I'm sure that they can do it. Check them out. Balboa Steaks, best steaks in Delaware. Love them. I'm telling you, my favorite, Cooper Sharp cheese. You'll be happy. Jack loves it too. But I just want to make a quick announcement. If you guys aren't doing anything, this Sunday, come out to the Chesapeake Inn. We'll be hanging out with Deshaun Jackson. Yes, I said that right. My favorite NFL player of all time, and I know a lot of your guys too. We all grew up watching this guy when he had the freaking return against the Giants, and he will be at the Chesapeake Inn this week for a meet and greet. You'll also be able to hang out with me, KJ McCoy, E-Rock, and a lot of other Eagles legends. So thank you to John Marco and E-Rock for including us in that event, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So check it out, Chesapeake Inn this Sunday. I'll be there. Hopefully Jack will be able to be there, and we're going to take down the Chiefs. But Jack, go ahead and take us out of here, brother.
Are you sure it's Sunday? It's not Saturday?
I believe it's Sunday. I think it said Saturday on the thing, but it's Sunday. It's whenever the game is. I'm 99% sure it's Sunday.
So it's not this Sunday. It's next Sunday.
Correct. Next Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Sunday, September 14th. I think the party starts around noon. If you check out the flyer, it says all of it. It breaks it all down. But we'll probably get there early, help set up, be gentlemen, but also hang out a little bit early. Check out some of those 1 o'clock games and support an awesome local business.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Balboa Steaks. I think I have a pregame routine now. I went to Balboa Steaks yesterday before the game, and they won, so I may have to be doing that from here on out. We appreciate your sponsorship. But yeah, I mean, Eagles win 24-20. Go Birds. Hey, Josh, it's an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
This is for you.
Hey, what's up, 302 Birds? I'm Jack. All roads lead through the playoffs and Phil.